So this review, we're talking about Teddy Gray, and his album is called Rock and Roll McDonald's. And he's an unsigned indie rock artist originally from Massachusetts, but currently living in Long Island, New York. And he
Oh.
began writing songs around 2013 and released his first single, Wheaties, in 2015. Over the years, he continued releasing singles and the EP, The Price of Youth, in 2017. Teddy's fame began to slightly grow when he wrote, directed, and starred in the musical parody of Garfield titled Garfeld in 2019 at the age of 21. So, despite the name, this is not a spoof combining Garfield with Seinfeld, although I think that was a missed opportunity right there. Nonetheless, what this actually is a low budget musical of him dressed as Garfield and other people playing John and Odie and Liz, all that stuff. So as a fan of Garfield myself, I read all the comics every Sunday as a kid. I watched the cartoons and the specials. I collected numerous plush toys. After watching this, it's a really raunchy, low budget musical, and it's unsurprisingly better than the 2004 movie with Bill Murray.
I forgot all about that movie.
Sequel was not good either.
What a surprise.
Yeah, I know, right? But anything would be better than that, and that's what Teddy achieved. So Teddy is no stranger to musicals himself because he actually has been in plays including School of Rock, Bye Bye Birdie, and the American Idiot thing by Green Day.
Huh.
So after Garfeld, he continued doing live shows throughout Long Island and continued releasing witty singles. And this album, Teddy considers a mixtape, and it's a remaster of all the singles he recorded over the past year. Teddy's vocals are as youthful and snide as his lyrical content, which I thought was immediately apparent on the 57-second opening punky track, Let's Not Have Kids. So a little backstory, if you can't get it by the title, in less than a minute, he quickly explains all the romantic and sometimes selfish things he'd rather do with his lover instead of reproducing. And I think a lot of people in their early 20s share his sentiment and can relate.
Yes.
You like
I
that?
can relate.
Yeah.
And I'm not in my early 20s.
Yeah.
But I can definitely relate. I loved this song. I thought it was such a funny way to just kind of like right out of the gate with the nihilism and the snark.
And then that's what's interesting because we're starting with like punk and then he's switching genres in a way. So we get to the song Pictures of Your Feet, and it's like kind of like a folky heartland rock thing, Bruce Springsteen-ish. I want to say maybe Bob Dylan with the harmonica we get in there. He laments about his lack of fame and fortune leading to becoming a starving artist in that lifestyle, which inevitably includes having your girlfriend sell pictures of her feet online. So we've all been there before.
Yep.
I must say, not only is his lyrics like clever, but the lack of like pretentiousness in his imagery helps get right to the point. Like, for example, my favorite line is on the piano-led track Temporary Tattoos when he says, don't remind me of the time I said I wanted to be God. I'm a genuine phony. I'm an authentic fraud. I just thought that was a really cute oxymoron.
Yeah.
So did you notice that the song Math and Science and Let's Not Have Kids, they have like the same drum pattern like introduction? And that was because he was able to get Trey Cool from Green Day to play drums on some tracks, including those two. And that intro is kind of the same as the song Burnout from Green Day from their Dookie album. I thought that was kind of interesting that both songs had the same like percussion intro.
No, I didn't notice that.
Well, let me ask you this then. What do you think of the song The 27 Club?
I liked that song. Most, if not all, of his songs were really funny, but also like very real and down to earth, and at times very relatable. And I really liked this song in particular because it's like funny and whimsical, but then towards the end he gets introspective about like, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't want to be dead by the time I'm 27. And he like pokes fun of like Jim Morrison, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And if he reads one more poem, I'm gonna go fucking insane. I thought that was really funny. And then when he's like, well, maybe this was a bad idea, like maybe this isn't actually heaven. And then he's like, no, that.
It never was heaven, right? Because Satan was the one like escorting him
Yeah,
in.
that's right. He was going to hell.
That's the only thing I didn't like when Satan's voice came in, but I didn't hate it either. I
Oh,
mean,
I really liked that.
oh, you did? Okay.
This song and I think one other song reminded me of this, like, it's a band that I think made one album and then like never did anything ever again, which makes me sad, called This Way to the Egress. And they had that very like dark, almost like dingy sound to it. That might be one reason, one of the many reasons I liked this song so much.
Yeah. The song I Missed the 2010s. I thought that
Yeah.
song, not only are his songs funny, but he actually had a song that really got me as well. It's like a depressing ballad, and it sounds as Teddy is like being nostalgic for the previous decade. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, since we're dealing with the COVID thing right now, the song is really relatable. But there are lyrics in that song that really hit home for me, right down to when he says, "Your cat was alive, my back wasn't sore." It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's literally what I'm going through too. And being an indie rock musician from Long Island, I think most likely Teddy is influenced by Jeff Rosenstock because you can hear it in the songs like "Flavor of the Day" and "Sad Eyebrows," where he's like
Mm.
blending pop rock with like new wave overtones. But I want to ask you this: when we got the email to
Mm.
review this, he not only said it's compared to Jeff Rosenstock, but there's comparisons to the Mountain Goats, which you're a fan of. So did you actually hear that sound in any of the songs?
Um, Maybe not so much in like the sound of the songs, but in the lyrical content.
Okay.
The Mountain Goats have a few songs where like they sound so cheery, but they're talking about really depressing things. And a few of these songs were like that.
Yeah. I heard the diversity of his sound, which I really liked. His influence sounds like he's been inspired by stuff that was coming out before his time. The song Wonderwall in a different key. It's like really infectious 90s indie grunge pop, but I didn't recognize any similarities to the Oasis song. So he could have got away with that and I wouldn't even notice. Sticky Notes is a really upbeat country hoedown tune that will have you at least tapping your foot throughout the song. And that last song, Artists, is like a
Mm,
mellow, folky tune that's extremely discouraging as the father of the story tells his son to give up on his dreams of success as an artist. And I loved it.
yeah. That was a really sad song.
Are there any other songs you want to talk about?
I think we actually talked about all the ones that I really, really liked.
Hmm.
Yeah, there were just a lot of places where like the song is really funny and it's like really catchy and you're having a good time. And then there's like one verse where he just is like suddenly very real about it. And I'm just like, damn, son, why are you making me feel like this?
Yeah.
And then the next song is just like fun again. And then it just keeps happening. Like in Pictures of Your Feet, he says, between pervs and dreamers, I see parallels. Everyone just wants to satisfy their needs. Some use fame and some use riches. Some use pictures of your feet. That's like a pretty interesting observation to include in a song about selling pictures of your feet to people with foot fetishes.
Yeah. I agree. To have written all these original songs at such a young age, I think is pretty impressive.
Mm,
And these tracks do come off as more of a random collection. So I look forward to his debut studio album being more thematic and concise. He has a great career in music ahead of him, even if he feels like the kids are running circles around him, as he said in one song. So I'm giving this album a really, really high positive download list. What do you think?
well, I mean, I agree with everything you said. I really enjoyed this album. It wasn't too long,
Mm,
but that doesn't mean that it was like substanceless. I like how each song sounded like it was from a different album.
mm,
Like within each song, there were such dynamic and interesting sounds and lyrics, and almost all of them were like laugh out loud funny, but still very real and very relatable. I think that that shows like a definite talent, and I hope he gets signed. Maybe he could make that musical into like a full-length movie.
Yeah.
But my final rating is to buy this.
Okay.
It's like $5 on his Bandcamp. I'd say it's worth even more than that. I'd go as high as $10.
So, Teddy, we like your mixtape, son. So keep it coming, and if you actually had a chance to hear it, all you people out there that are into like the indie rock music, give this album a listen. And tell us what you think of it in the comments, or send us an email with more of your opinion, and tell us what your rating would be as well. Kids are running circles around